My name is Shane Liberta. My wife is Debbie. We've got 2 daughters, Bryn, who was the patient here, and she has a twin sister, Olivia. They were a dream. You know, we couldn't have had a better first few years. That was what made our journey start so confusing. Bryn was 9 years old when she got sick. I pulled my truck up to the drop-off for their school bus, and I looked back, and Bryn was just sitting in her seat and didn't get out of the car. And then within 2 weeks of that moment, we realized something was very wrong. She was screaming for 6 hours at a time, and my wife and I took turns holding her on the couch and just looking at each other like, what's happening? When your kid enters a mental health crisis and you've never dealt with it before, and there's this stigma, it feels like you're treading water and there's not a life raft or a boat anywhere in sight. We're going to the pediatrician and saying, what's going on with my kid? Something's in crisis. And it's pain I can't describe. We didn't know Masonic. We didn't know anything about it. They admitted us, and I'll never forget the attending pediatrician comes in, and she puts her hands up and she says, hold on a second. I feel like you need to hear me say something to you. I go, okay. And she goes, I think I know what's going on, and we'll make a plan, okay? It felt like these lead anvils were taken off my shoulders. And so we spent an entire week doing diagnostics. Every doctor that came in, whether it was neurology, psychology, pediatrics, they were what we needed desperately. The diagnosis is called pediatric autoimmune neuropsychological disease attributed to strep. It's a catch-all of something that the strep infection did to her brain. They felt very confident in the diagnosis, and at that point, they leaned all in on treatment of that for the next few weeks. We'd been trying being open with her, and she didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to talk. She didn't want to engage. Rocket, the dog, got on her bed. She sat up, smiled, and had an entire conversation for like 45 minutes. Before that, she hadn't talked for 2 days. I think the biggest turning point was when she participated in the outpatient program. That was the most monumental shift that we saw.
We work with clients every day for a month. That is what an outpatient therapist would do in a year. So we are literally seeing almost a year's worth of growth in 1 month. The unique benefit of the partial and IOP program is that we can offer all types of programming. We have verbal groups, which do processing of feelings. We have experiential groups, which are music, art, and therapeutic recreation.
They come into music therapy and they look at this room and they go, oh my gosh, look at all those instruments. Without fail, every kid. And I tell them that we get to play them during choice time. They can play whatever instrument they want. I can teach them. And over the course of the weeks, you see them slowly start to come out of their shell and open up.
You don't know what is going to connect with the kid suffering. I pick her up one day and she's like, I learned how to play Vance Joy Riptide on the ukulele. And I'm like, you did what? This is like an enthusiastic conversation that I haven't had in 6 months with her. And she says, could I get a ukulele? And I'm like car goes sideways off 35 to Guitar Center. So we got her this ukulele and she played Vance Joy Riptide on the ukulele. It's weird in this horrible journey. I've said before, there were awesome moments, and it was totally because of this facility and the doctors in it.
There are very few treatment centers that have all of the services that we offer in one place.
There's been a dramatic decline in resources outside of the mHealth Fairview system. So what we're trying to do to compensate for that is build additional programs, and any funding to assist with that will speed up the process.
Both music therapy rooms, our swing room has been absolutely transformed. In addition to that, there's the new cool workout room that they have. That feel-in space has just been really wonderful. But there are still rooms that need our help and still places that could use the support.
Our follow-up appointment a few weeks ago was with Dr. Schlesinger at the MIDB. And I walked in the door and just thought, this is amazing to see that Institute for the Developing Brain there for kids that are in the place we were a few years ago is really, really exciting.
We have great programming. We understand how to do this. The faster the funding comes, the faster these kids can get some help.
The difference in the doctors here were monumental, and Bryn is launching into life as a thriving teenager because of what Masonic did for our family.